good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first ever live YouTube broadcast of the Bakersfield College Industrial Automation Program presentation. So personally, I've never done anything like this before, but my name is Jason Dixon. I am the faculty chair of the Engineering and Industrial Technology Department, which includes engineering, automotive technology, and electronics technology, and the Industrial Automation Technology Program, which is why you're all logged in this morning to learn more about the program. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a PowerPoint presentation about the program itself. This is the Bachelor of Science degree in Industrial Automation. You'll be hearing from Cynthia Quintanilla, a counselor assigned to our program, here in a little while, but for now, you have me to talk about the program itself. Okay, industrial automation. Like you can read here, it can be described as interconnected equipment, technology, and systems and people using that technology to efficiently produce products. You use physical machinery, you use, well, you can see in this slide, you've got controllers, programmable logic controllers, you've got computers, and then you've got your output devices, which could be robots, could be process equipment, to make whatever the product is. Could be food, could be any variety of petroleum products, could be assembling something with robots, could be even packaging items together. Now, our bachelor's degree program is designed to prepare people for careers in technical management. So the graduates from our program are more than a technician. In the lower division, the first 2 years of the program, the courses are focused at the technician level. So learning to troubleshoot, learning to work with the technology. And you work closely with the engineers. So you learn to troubleshoot, you learn how things work, and then with the bachelor's degree, you work closely with the engineer to solve problems, to set up systems, to make existing technology or systems work more efficiently, or to adapt that technology to produce whatever a new product is. Again, food, petroleum products, packaging stuff to send out the door to customers like Target and the Walmart distribution system do. Now, in the program itself, skills you gain are both technical as well as management oriented. So down here in the technical, you work with electricity, low, medium, high voltage electricity, instrumentation, human machine interface, so touch screens and programmable logic controllers. We shorten that down in industry, call them PLCs. Essentially, they are industrial computers that control equipment and processes. They are universal. They are everywhere without you even knowing that they are there. Industrial networking, and then how to communicate with people at all levels, and both verbally and written, whether that's writing reports or with drawings and schematics, and then with management, how to communicate and how to work with people effectively. Our graduates usually end up in a position as some kind of a technical manager. Okay, career options. Our graduates end up in positions as a field automation specialist, robotics process architect, potential to be in a health and safety engineer position, as well as in management, being an operations manager or a technical manager or project manager, working closely with the engineer in a facility. And so they can end up in career options in more detail of what they do. Field automation specialists, they're involved with integrating the systems, setting up the systems, Could be PLCs, robotics, control specialists, fine-tuning systems. Another term you'll hear me use throughout this presentation is instrumentation, which refers to electronic devices that take measurements, very precise measurements so that you can control processes. Now with measurements, I'm referring to flow, level, pressure, and temperature. Taking those types of measurements and transforming them into electrical signals that you can then control with your PLC. Quality assurance, making those processes more efficient, saving the company money, and getting products out to your customer for a lower cost. Operations management, facilities management, and then I believe projects. Being involved with setting up facilities and managing projects so that they get done. Having the technical background, you can integrate the different technologies and communicate with all levels of a company or customer or a facility. Over the years, we've developed a really strong, motivated advisory committee, and we interact with local industry. In the courses, we'll have guest speakers from ERA, Stantec, Chevron, Target, Kern Steel. Students take tours at Dreyer's Ice Cream, Calafia Farms, Bolthouse Farms, Frito-Lay, and Palm Wonderful. And then a number of the students also have internships with ERA, J.G. Boswell, and Tasteful Selections. We also are actively getting involved with other industry partners that aren't even listed here yet. Now, this is what the overall program looks like, and I'll be getting into the details of this. You've got your lower division courses, which are your freshman, sophomore level courses, and then you start into the upper division, the junior, senior level courses, and there's details to that. Okay, lower division, technical classes that are required for the program. Obviously, you need to have some basic electronics theory. And this is articulated from some of the high school areas, some students, some of you logging in may be taking the dual enrollment classes that we offer. So ELET stands for Electronics Technology. B1A is our DC, direct current electronics course. And then from that course, you go into AC. So this is the power that's in your wall, alternating current. You need to know the stuff from this class to be admitted to and survive this class. You use a lot more measurement equipment up here. Okay, this course, PLCs, this is the Intro PLCs class. There's not a prerequisite for this, so you can register for it anytime. We work with the Allen Bradley line of programmable logic controllers. For this particular course, the B3, you'll be working with these PLCs right here, which are the SLC 500. And you get hands-on experience programming with ladder logic, the programming language, and control. This is the trainer you work with. So this has the output devices. And it represent kind of what you'd see when you're working in industry. And some of these PLC trainers integrate, we have them integrated with other simulated industrial equipment trainers. The B4 class, which is computer integrated manufacturing. We just recently replaced these two systems with newer systems that are more closely representative of the equipment that you'll see out in industry. But the B4 class really ties together the various automation courses that you'll take. So it's all based on Allen Bradley programmable logic controllers, controlling a variety of equipment and systems that you'll see in industry. We also have the B58 class, which is advanced PLCs, and you work with Allen Bradley's latest line of PLCs, which is the Control Logics system, which are a programmable automation controller. These come with 4 or 5 different types of languages that you can program them with. With the lower division classes, you can qualify for a variety of certificates that you can use for employment. And we have a number of these. Probably the most basic one we have is the Job Skills Certificate in Industrial Automation, which requires the Intro to PLC class B3, B4, and B58. Now, if you were to try to work through the program in 2 years, you can do that. And here's how the courses are laid out. And it's a combination of both both technical classes as well as your general education classes. So your science, your English, your math, your history, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. And we have the courses broken out in 2 semester sequences. So freshman year, fall semester, start out with DC Electronics, Intro PLCs, and then our Industrial Drawing B12 class, which is our Intro to Drafting. Half the class is manual drafting, the other half of the class is introductory AutoCAD. And then you also have some general education. So political science B1, and then you'll be fulfilling the math requirement for the program, as well as your educational planning class. Now, again, some of you may be enrolled in the dual enrollment class at your high school. So you may be getting the B1A taken care of. You may be getting B3 requirement taken care of. You may be at a high school with Industrial Drawing B12. There are a number of high schools that are offering all of these classes in dual enrollment, on a dual enrollment basis. But you can see that I'm not going to go through all the specifics of every single semester, but you get the idea of how the courses are laid out. And this is for a full-time student. So you'd be taking between 15 and 18 units per semester. With the general education courses, those are listed with GE area, in this case A, and that's English B1A. Those satisfy the gen ed requirements for the CSU system, the California State University system, which is required for a bachelor's degree. So you can, I'll just point out the progression of the technical classes. Advanced PLCs, the following fall, and motors. For motors, you have the prerequisite of the AC electronics class. Spring semester, sophomore year, instrumentation, telecommunications, and then a manufacturing elective. This could be basic machining, welding. We got a number of options there, which I think I have a slide for. Then you get into the upper division. So these are your junior and senior level classes. And in a number of them are technical and a number of them are management related. So the darker blue are the technical, and then the management related are this purplish color. So you can see it's an even balance of technical, plus you have some upper division general education. And this is a universal requirement pretty much nationwide that you have to do some general education related courses in the upper division. We keep it kind of related to what you do, what would be involved on the job. So you have a technical writing course. You have, okay, so that's a lower division. That's economics, microeconomics. Over here, you've got industrial psychology And then you have a philosophy class. Well, it's listed as philosophy, but it's professional ethics. So to help you be a better manager, to help you make better decisions on the job. In your senior year, if you look back here, we've got 2 critical classes, project management and then senior project. And they go hand in hand. In your project management, you gain the skills to be able to plan and manage a project, and you start developing your plan for your senior project. Again, this is the first time for me doing a presentation like this. Senior project, we try to develop a project to support local industry, and the students will design, test, research, and plan out the project. And then as much as possible, bring the project to fruition to help support local industry. And it gives students a taste of what real projects are like when you're working in industry, considering all this stakeholders, planning out what equipment and materials you'll need. Senior project is a critical requirement. Cost of the program. Lower division courses, $46 per unit. The upper division course are $46 plus an additional $84 per unit. So that's $130 per unit. There are additional costs, books, parking. You may need to purchase materials. College has certain extra fees. The good news is in total, it's a little less than $10,000 for 4 years. And the extra good news, financial aid is available. And we'll have a speaker talking about financial aid. Correct, Cynthia?
Yes, we'll have Lysander Ramos, who will be talking about financial aid program.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm not going to click on this YouTube link, but it is available on our page, our YouTube page for the program, where you can see some student interviews. I'm trying to maximize the time that I have and for this entire presentation. And sometimes when you're in a PowerPoint presentation, YouTube can kind of hijack your entire presentation. Okay, prerequisites. There are prerequisite coursework that you must satisfy. So you've got to have the expository composition, the transfer level English class. You have to pass that. We have a math requirement, at least pre-calculus 1 or higher. So you can take it, if you've taken a calculus class, your math requirement will be satisfied. Critical thinking requirements, you've got a number of options for that here at BC. Communication, this could be public speaking or a small group, which means team communications. So you have options for that. Science requirements. We're working on some options for this, for the entire program, but you've got to have a physics class or possibly physical science. So if you've taken a physics class, either general or engineering, meaning calculus level physics, those are the requirements. And then 6 of the following 9 classes. I should have updated this. Oh, I guess it is 9. But you've got these various areas. So DC and AC circuits, the sim class, PLCs. What we offer is ELET B3. It used to be called B5. Electric motors, instrumentation and process control, advanced PLCs, telecommunications, and introduction to drafting. Now, as you can see, if you've got some of these classes from the high school level that you've taken either for articulation or as a dual enrollment class, then you've got those classes taken care of. So B1A, B1B, B4, B3, B12 we offer at a number of different classes. And then you have to follow the CSU general education pattern. Okay, so there is an application process. Tier 2, this is your incoming freshman and continuing sophomore, where you follow the plan, but you're not formally admitted to the program. For the upper division, you have to formally apply for the upper division courses to be a junior. We do have a website for the entire program where you can learn more about the program itself, as well as the faculty and staff. And here it is. So you can follow us on social media. We have the college, the website. If you don't remember this website, you can go to Bakersfield College and search for industrial automation. And then Cynthia Quintanilla, our counselor, who you'll be hearing from in a few moments, you can contact her with questions. Okay, and so that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Jason. Can you put up that last screen with my contact information, please?
Sure.
While he's putting that up, good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Quintanilla, and I am the counselor for the Industrial Automation Program. And there were a couple of screens that I was going to review, but Mr. Dixon went ahead and he covered that. So I'm just going to kind of give you an overview. Industrial automation, you saw a video about robots, and so this program does involve robots, but because of the term industrial in the front, that means we're looking at large-scale robots. And these robots are able to do the repetitive work in industry that it's repetitive in nature, and the machines can go 24 hours a day, like Frito-Lay and Dreyer's Ice Creamery, Nestle. These machines are going all day long. And so there are technicians that are making sure that the equipment stays, or the automation stays running effectively. So in the lower division program, students learn how to do the hands-on work of repairing the equipment. They are able to get a job very quickly in the program. And in fact, there's 3 classes that allow students to get their first certificate in industrial automation. After that first certificate, we actually have 4 more certificates in the program. So we have what we call a stackable program. There's 5 certificates in the program. And then we have an associate's degree in industrial automation. And then we have actually an associate's degree in electronics, which students usually get at the same time. And then students are able to actually move into the bachelor's degree in industrial automation. So we have a really great program. So we call it stackable because you can get lots of certificates and lots of degrees through the program. If you do go to our main website, and you could even just put in the search bar industrial automation, you will be able to gather more information about the program. And there's actually a brochure that you can print that shows that semester by semester pathway that Mr. Dixon showed you. It's something you can print. If you're a brand new student and you think, what should I take my very first semester? It's laid out for you effortlessly, so you don't have to worry about figuring out what you need to take. If you have been a student on campus at Bakersfield College or on another campus, and you already have some general education under your belt, then some of those areas where it's a general education, we'll accept those courses. The only ones we're really interested in that you really need are the prerequisites. But if you have other general education that you've completed, I would be more than happy to review that for you to see what else you need. And so again, my information is at the bottom of the screen here. I am able to do telephone appointments with students, and also Zoom appointments are available. So just like we are right now, we're kind of in that Zoom mode. I'm able to talk to you and interact and share screens, so I can show you information that's needed. And so my email is right there. It's ckintan@bakersfieldcollege.edu. I'm available on Monday through Thursday from about 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. So you can email me at any time to set up an appointment. And we have the lower division courses, and you do not need an application for that. You can just start registering for classes once you have been admitted, if you're not already a student on campus. And then it's the upper division program where I will need to review and make sure you have those prerequisites met in order to gain admission and be able to take the upper division courses. But it's a pretty simple path to follow, and you're able to actually start working in the industry with that very first certificate. So it's a great program. We have had 2 graduating classes in the program already, and we have 100% employment for our students in the program because it's a very good program. It's a program that's very unique. It's a degree that we have never had in the Central Valley ever before, or even in the state of California. And so we have a lot of employers that are very interested in our students. We are centrally located, and industrial automation crosses over multiple job sectors. Agriculture, petroleum, like Mr. Dixon had mentioned, the food industry, even medical. You now see physicians that are in a corner, they're on a computer, and there is a laser that's performing surgery, and that is using automation in the medical field. So in the computer science area, I mean, the industrial automation is just barely taking off in the United States. And so you're going to be right on that, cutting edge of new technology with this program. So it is a great program. It is a highly valuable program here in the Central Valley. But if you decided that you wanted to go out of the Central Valley, out of Bakersfield, you could definitely find employment in other cities in the state of California. You can also find employment out of state. And the great thing about the program is you could even, transfer out to other countries as well. And automation is something that is very valuable. It is very cutting edge and very popular in China and Japan and other countries. So you will have no problem finding employment in the industrial automation field. So again, if you have any questions, if you would like to speak to me, again, my information is at the bottom of the page here, ckintan@bakersfieldcollege.edu. Go ahead and send me an email, and I would be more than happy to speak with you and provide you with more information. So do we have any questions for either Mr. Dixon or for myself?
Thank you, Cynthia. We're going to go ahead and go on with our next presenter.
Okay, wonderful.
Lysander Ramos.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lysander Ramos. I'm from the Bakersfield College Financial Aid Office. And thank you, Cynthia, and thank you, Jason and Carlos. What I'm going to be talking about today is going to be the financial aid process. As you can tell, this program is just a really wonderful program to become involved in. And one of the things that we want to make sure that you know is that you have tons of support by entering this program. And one of the ways that we can help you out is with financial aid. And although, at a distance or 1,000-foot view, financial aid can seem complex, it really isn't, because what you have is a dedicated team and a dedicated person, which is myself, that is here solely just to assist you with this entire process. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to share my screen and cover a little bit of financial aid. All right. So I'm with the Office of Financial Aid at Bakersfield College. And what I'm going to go ahead and cover is just a little bit about financial aid. So in our overview, we're going to talk about what is financial aid, how do you apply, and access your financial aid at BC, and then also just a little bit about how you can maintain your financial aid eligibility. Now, financial aid is just any grant or scholarship, any type of loan or work study that's available. Financial aid is going to be there to assist you with books, to assist you with your supplies, or help you with transportation or personal expenses. Grants are available by filling out the FAFSA or filling out the DREAM Act application. there's two ways to do this, and the priority deadline was March 2nd, but it's okay if you haven't done it just yet. You can do it right now, and that'll really get you started on the first steps to just checking out your eligibility. Depending on your circumstances, you can either apply going to the FAFSA website, which is fafsa.gov, or you can fill out a DREAM application by going to dream.csac.california. Just like by going to the Bakersfield College website, we also have a financial aid link that is there. And you can actually go there by going to bakersfieldcollege.edu and then going and clicking onto your Inside BC link, or by searching financial aid. From there, you can get our number to contact us. And what I'll also do is I'll provide my contact information as well, so that if you have any questions as far as if you get stuck anywhere, or if just something seems a little bit confusing and you'd like some, hands-on guidance, I'm right here. I can set up a call with you or set up a Zoom appointment with you to go ahead and go through this step-by-step to make sure that you feel confident in the selections that you're making. Now, as far as keeping your financial aid, when you set up, you want to maintain a 2.0 GPA. And also when you enter the industrial automation program, you'll be going into a higher tier. So there's multiple awards available for you. And I want to talk about a little bit about your Cal Grant. Yeah, you'll have your, before you even go into that, you'll have your Pell Grant. You'll also have things like the middle class scholarship, work study. All these things are available at our program. So it's just really important that if you have any questions on it, that you reach out, you visit our website, because we would be happy to just go ahead and go through it with you step by step and just kind of show you the process. We can, if you have any questions while you're in your class, if you want to find out if you take additional classes, how you'll be supported, or if you drop classes, you can always reach out to our office directly, or you can reach out directly to me, and I'd be happy to assist you with any questions that you may have. Now, if you do have questions on the process, I'm also going to make sure that we place this in our YouTube link. But again, my name is Lysander Ramos. I can be reached at lysander.ramos@bakersfieldcollege.edu, or you can reach out to our general office, which is BC_F8@bakersfieldcollege.edu. Either way is a good way to reach out, but we are also available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can direct messages on Facebook, and we'll get back to you within 24 business hours. So please, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to speak with you. If there's one thing that I would love to leave with you, would be just that there is support available, especially if you're not sure if you're eligible. We have tons of things like fee waivers that can assist you with tuition. So please, if you do find yourself in a position where you're interested in this program, reach out to our office. We'd be happy to provide additional detail and ways that we can support you.
Thank you, Lysander. That's a really great information.
Degree that they're now offering fits exactly with what I feel we need here in the county. We do hope to be hiring a number of people as employees. It's an extremely good field. There's a demand in all the different industries. Automation is, I believe, one of the biggest needs in our country.
Well, I'm looking forward to the first graduating class from this program, because I think some of them could possibly be a great fit for what we're looking for in our organization. The program is also providing an opportunity for people who are currently in the industry to move up in their own careers.
Tasteful Selections is the biggest distributor of baby potatoes, specialty potatoes, in North America. I would say my biggest challenge is getting students out of college that are ready to contribute to automation in today's industry. So working with Bakersfield College, we have developed a program that can instill the tools that students need to be successful in today's industry after graduation. The curriculum that these students come out with is hands-on experience with robotics, PLCs, HMIs. Tasteful Selections is currently offering internships and senior design projects to students at BC. We had a student complete a year-long internship, and upon graduation was employed by our company. This is a career for students to get into industry and to be hands-on and contribute to real-world problems to solve automation needs. Tasteful Selections values the employee's continuing education, and it's great that BC is near so that they can enroll and take classes and be lifelong learners. This partnership with Bakersfield College has benefited Tasteful Selections by allowing us to get students involved in the workplace and get our name out in the community, because the students are talking about Tasteful Selections and what a great opportunity it is for them to use the skills that they learned in school and be able to use that in the workplace. Career education, a great business investment.
All right. Next, we have Richard Chapman from Kern Economics.
How are you?
Great, thank you. You are live.
Oh, great, great. Well, thanks for having me here today. And I know my colleague Melinda Brown's on the line too. I know she's our Director of Business Development, and a majority of her projects are with companies that we're talking about in terms of you all grooming the workforce of the future. So it's great to partner with her as well as Bakersfield College. And you know, your program, the Industrial Automation Program, is really a much needed curriculum. Obviously, the bachelor level, as well as you mentioned, you have 25 folks in that cohort and 200 students at the 2-year level. And workforce development really is economic development. And as we work, Kern EDC works to grow our own businesses, as well as bring in companies. So you hear Amazon, Walmart, we've got companies, smaller companies, food processing like Joyride, distribution, L'Oreal, et cetera. And these industrial automation jobs are really the key. It's not just about having workforce available, but it's having the quality. And so we always call these type of jobs kind of the, in some ways, some of them are light blue collar jobs, and that have extremely high mobility rates. And in fact, our industries love Kern County because of the relatively low turnover rate and productivity. And as we work, a couple of things to note. If you look at industries with AI and industrial automation, Kern County is actually one of the most exposed in terms of the industrial automation jobs being replaced by automation. I think it's potentially in the next 20 years, it's about 63% of jobs now performed by human could be replaced by the AI or industrial automation. So we're in the top 10 in terms of that, but that's an opportunity, because the point is, if you don't train the workers to understand how to program, right? Not just put a box on a conveyor belt, but program the conveyor belt. These are the jobs that really will be irreplaceable moving forward. But that's one thing we looked at. You know, another thing is we looked at STEM. These are STEM jobs, and we're actually in the top 5 in the country for STEM jobs: science, technology, engineering, math. But 10% of our jobs, high-level STEM jobs, are unfilled. So we have openings, but we don't have folks, the pipeline. How do we grow the pipeline? And you all are working to do that, because it's critical, but also it's that STEM mentoring, you know, at all levels. How do we encourage kids to move into these jobs? Not everyone's going to work at Apple or Google, but we have jobs in our county. We're top 5 in upward mobility, Kern County, in the country. What does that mean? That means the odds of you moving from the bottom 20% to the top 20% are higher here than almost anywhere in the country. And our STEM jobs, by the way, a 2-year degree, much like at BC, for instance, the 2-year degrees, you'll probably make about $70,000 a year. So this is what we try to communicate, because it's all about talent attraction and retention. Oftentimes you talk to folks, you know, when we do the circuit, when you ask them how many want to stay in Bakersfield, and only 5 out of 200 raise their hands. Well, we have to change that. And so as we put the facts out about retaining talent, because actually we do not retain as much as we should. And then attracting is a whole different ball of wax. So we talk about cost of living, right? But also we say, if you're an engineer here, you can make more here than anywhere in the country, $106,000. And think about how far that goes versus in LA. Probably in LA, you'd be living in an apartment with 5 other people on that salary. So we also have to talk about, this is a good place to live, work, and play. Another thing we wanted to mention, our county is actually the 3rd most diverse economy in the country. And people say, well, I know you have oil and ag, but how can that be? You have other industries. So look what's happening in East Kern. With the earthquake in last July, you know, really awful event. Well, what's happened now? $4 billion is coming into Ridgecrest to rebuild. And you hear stories of folks in Ridgecrest driving the streets of Bakersfield looking for welders. So they want to hire Kern County employees, students. And so we are working, I know BC's have been involved, east to west. How do we bring those two together? There's so much innovation, aerospace, defense, you have significant renewable energy, you have the gold mine. There's a gold mine, Rio Tinto. There's just a huge amount of innovation and technological development. And so we have to also encourage students here to stay in Kern County. Maybe the opportunity is not in Bakersfield, but it could be in Ridgecrest, Mojave, Tehachapi, Cal City. I think this is really important because our future success, as a lot of our natural resource economies use these regulation and other types with SGMA, right? SGMA with ag and some of the regulations. We have the strictest regulations in the world for our oil industry. How, that will significantly affect the growth in those industries. They pay well, especially oil, but we also have to show, look, there are other legs of the stool. There's other opportunities. So I think, as I know, working with BC, we also, I would like to add, we have started an entrepreneurship endeavor called KITE, Kern Initiative for Talent and Entrepreneurship. Kern EDC with JP Lake and Seaport Foundation is really kind of on the cutting edge. And I know your president has recognized, Dr. Christian recognized us, and we got a national recognition at the Association of Community College Entrepreneurship a couple months ago. We need to encourage startup activity. And another stat, since I love stats, is we're number 5 in the country out of 400 for startups, net job creation. So not everyone will work at a large firm, but a lot of these jobs, maybe it's a startup, maybe it's 5 to 10 people. Because at the end of the day, we know most of the growth, 80 to 90% of growth, number one, is from companies less than a year old and also from companies in our own backyard. So we're really excited to partner with BC. Hopefully that's, hopefully you have enough numbers in your head now. But I think we're well positioned. And we know for California, we are in terms of operating costs, one of the lowest places on the West Coast, as well as the cost of living. It's one of the best places. Your money goes much farther. So I think we're the key to California's future success. So thank you again for your time and attention today.
Thank you, Richard.
BC really helped. Well, the way I like to think about it is BC is helping me build the house. And BC was the foundation, and we put up some walls and things, put on the roofing. And now that I'm into the position that I am, I'm able to cap everything off with the paint, the tile, the flooring, and what have you. If I had to rate it, I'd give Bakersfield College, and especially the Industrial Automation Program, a 10 out of 10. It opened so many doors for me, whether I've been through my education, the career affairs, the people I've met along the way have helped me personally be able to make these connections and get into the position I am now with such a great company like Phillips 66. The level of experience I had coming prior to BC for this type of work, which is oil and gas, but also it's electrical and instrumentation, I actually had zero. But because of the tools and the foundation that BC has set for me, it's easier for me to segue into the oil and gas, and more particularly in my instrumentation and electrical technician training position. It's the company, and along with, in conjunction with what I've learned, have helped me be able to breathe a little easier at night with a very competitive pay for my respective field. Coming in and working with people with differing backgrounds and expertise, I find myself to be very comfortable with what I've learned through my time at Bakersfield College and how I can put that into use now. There's people that have been in the field for quite a long time, and although they may be experts in some areas, my ability to have the technology at my disposal such as what we had here at Bakersfield College, allows me to kind of be a forerunner in some other areas where they may not have that expertise. A day in the life for me, it starts with a meeting at the beginning. We kind of go over the work orders that we have, and we see what we need to prioritize and categorize and see what needs to be done. Maybe at that day, for the week, maybe get started on some of the projects. With that being said, they range. There's a lot of things. We do some electrical work. We do instrumentation. We do bending of piping, threading. There's a whole multitude of things that I can do. And a day in the life for me out there, work-wise, is making sure that we're running through the proper channels, ensuring that we're not digging next to somewhere we're not supposed to be, that we're letting the conduit properly, wiring is there, looking over schematics and tracing back where it may or may not lead to, depending on the application. Definitely, I would definitely always recommend Bakersfield College and the Industrial Technology and Automation program to anybody and everybody. If I could get on top of a roof and scream it, I would. But nonetheless, I would do so because I would be telling people of what it's done for me and what I've learned and the opportunities that have opened and have really changed my life because of the Bakersfield College programs that are available to not only just me, but to others as well. It's an impact that sits well within the community. You know, the price that I had to pay, quite literally, to do the Bakersfield College Industrial Program for 4 years, it's bar none. I walked out of here and I had this immediate lift off my shoulders. I was not only done with school, but I didn't have this massive debt accumulated as some others might have. This program has really positioned me to have financial freedom even after I've exited the program.
All right. Well, this takes us to the questions, Q&As. If any of our viewers have any questions, go ahead and answer them now on the chat feature. You can always as well email me at carlos.medina@bakersfieldcollege.edu. I'll go ahead and direct the questions to our presenters right now. So go ahead and use the chat feature on YouTube to ask any questions you might have, and I'll go ahead and direct them to our presenters. All right, here we go. What is the total cost of the program?
I think Mr. Dixon had mentioned that earlier. The lower division classes are a little less expensive than the upper division, but in total for the full 4-year program, you're looking at less than $10,000, which is a steal because that could be 1 year of coursework at a CSU campus or UC campus. You're looking at, you know, with tuition and books and everything, UC Davis is about $39,000 per year. The CSU campuses, I think, are about $12,000 per year. Bakersfield College, we have our full 4-year bachelor's degree that you can take anywhere for less than $10,000.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. We have another question as well. Can you transfer credits?
I can take that one as well. If you have coursework from other campuses, yes, we can evaluate that to see what we can give credit for. So we're going to look at an articulation to see if it matches up. And so depends on the campus and if it is accredited. So we do look at WASC accreditation, the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, to make sure that the courses match up. And that's what any CSU or UC would be looking at as well, to make sure that courses match up. And so, yes, we do. We accept courses from the other campuses. And if a student wanted to go on and pursue a master's degree, they definitely could do that after getting their bachelor's degree at Bakersfield College.
Thank you, Cynthia. And this is not a question, but it's a comment to Richard. Thank you, Richard. That was great information, and thank you for the insight on the future of the industry.
Well, thank you again. I mean, this is a thing we have, as we all work to be ambassadors for the region. Obviously, you hear about the cost competitiveness with this program, and obviously students realizing when they emerge that they won't have a significant amount of debt. And I think they're much more savvy maybe than they can do. They can do kind of the cost comparison on the back of an envelope. And again, your money will go further here, but also the industries are in need. They will pay for these type of positions that, you know, you're creating the workforce of the future, and what better place for them to succeed than in Kern County.
Thank you, Richard. I have another question from Armando Armada. Are there any teaching positions available?
Well, I'll answer that one. Since I'm the department chair and I'm involved with hiring instructors, we do periodically have need for part-time instructors. We call them adjunct instructors. Full-time instructors, we're not hiring at the moment, but you can always watch the employment ads with the Kern Community College District. But if you are interested in teaching, feel free to send us an email.
Thank you, Jason. We have another question from Aaron Oka. What will be the best plan to receive a master's?
I can answer that one as well. For a master's degree, there are a number of programs, both technical and management related, that are out there. A number of distance ed, fully online programs. There are, for the technical programs, Indiana State University has a master's in electronics and computer technology. There are a few online industrial technology programs. And then for technical management, project management, there are a large number of programs that you can find.
Thank you, Jason.
Additionally, Carlos, a lot of students, once they get their degree in industrial automation, if they want to remain in the field, but just want chances for, salary increase, business is a great master's program for them to complete after having a bachelor's degree in industrial automation. Just allows them to have that advanced salary, but still continue to do the same work that they are doing in industry.
Thank you, Cynthia. Next, where do I send my application for the program?
I can answer that one. The application would go to me. And so my information is on our website, and I'm the one that reviews all of the applications. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to send me an email, and the application would go directly to my email address as well for review.
There you go, Jordan Sloan. We have another question from Jacob Settle. He's asking, for upper division courses, and for example, English B100 technical writing, would it be possible to take some of those that don't require prerequisites over the summer in the lower division?
Okay, so we do have there's a distinguishing line between the lower division classes and the upper division. Any campus, when you're pursuing a bachelor's degree, there's typically about 3 to 4 upper division general education courses that cannot be taken at the lower division level. So even if a student maybe was majoring in English and had a lot of English classes, those courses would not count as the upper division class unless it was taken as an upper division course. Now, if this student had taken an upper division course at CSUB or CSU Fresno or CSU Northridge, and it was deemed upper division, then we could use it as a course substitution for that specific English class that is upper division. But a student has to be admitted into the program to begin taking upper division classes in our program.
Thank you, Cynthia. Jacob Settle has another follow-up question. How does Art B4 technical drawing, I believe, tie into the INDA program? How does drafting in CAD relate to programming?
Well, in this program, you deal with a lot of schematics. Sorry, I just moved my laptop. You deal with a lot of drawings, being able to read them, but also there are positions where you need to generate your own drawings of electrical schematics, process flow diagrams, and piping and instrument diagrams, P&IDs. And so by taking the drafting class, you're familiar with the processes to generate industry quality drawings for the automation related industries.
Thank you, Jason. We have another comment from Donald Bryans. He's saying, thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to continuing my education and advancing my career in the industrial automation program.
Sounds great, Donald. We look forward to seeing you in the program.
I have a question from Ron. Are courses offered immediately, meaning are upper division classes offered all year round?
Yes, but we don't offer all of them every semester. We offer a certain sequence. The lower division classes, we offer pretty much every class every semester, not the same number of sections of each and every class, but it is possible to navigate through all of those, or I should say, take all those classes in 2 years or less. The upper division classes, we offer them on a rotating basis.
Thank you, Jason. I have a question for Richard. Richard, in your own professional opinion, do you see a lack of talent in the manager or technician positions in the county?
Do you mean in the private sector?
Yes.
Well, the upper level, this is the challenge we have, is that we do really well at kind of the lower to middle level, having the local talent pool, but then as we get to the higher level, it's that's where the job applicant to job ratio is much lower. So for instance, you look at some of the logistics job, you might have like in the past 13 applicants to one opening. So the employer can screen, find the workforce. If they're looking nationally around the areas, they need to have a significant amount of available workers to screen. But as you move up the spectrum, as I mentioned, 10% of our high-level STEM jobs are unfilled. And again, it's this branding and promoting Kern County is a good place, right, for folks to move. But if you're trying to attract talent, typically if they have options in the past, we might not have won that battle, but I think we're getting traction. You are seeing now Bakersfield and Kern, we kind of have this, we've turned this corner, and now it's not as difficult to recruit. But again, this is the battle for talent. Now, life post-COVID, we do think there will be more onshoring. We see the trends that instead of using foreign markets, there's actually going to be opportunity to locate and grow in Kern County, especially with supply chains as well, and just in general manufacturing. So yeah, to answer that question, this is the ultimate challenge. Employers have openings where, in most cities you have 50 people applying for the same job. We're actually on the opposite. It's called overemployed versus underemployed. So most people, most of the large cities, coastal cities, have underemployed. That means maybe you have somebody that has a PhD or that's working as a barista. Well, they're waiting to get their job in biotech or software that they were trained for. That's underemployment. They're making less than they should. But we have the opposite. So because we don't have the excess of kind of higher level applicants. But this will change. We see the change. We see education and curriculum is really marching in line with what the workforce and the employers need.
Thank you, Richard. Cynthia, you already answered this question in our chat box, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it again so our viewers can also see the answer. The question is from our counselor from Porterville College. He's asking, how competitive is entrance into the program? Is there a minimum GPA for the application?
Okay, that is an excellent question. We currently can accept up to 30 students per year in the program. And because it's a brand new program, there's plenty of seats available. So there's no competition currently in the program for admission into the program. Students just have to satisfy prerequisites to gain admission to the program. And then for admission requirements, all of those admission requirements are on our Bakersfield College website. Just put in the search bar industrial automation, you'll pull up our web information. And there we have a brochure that has all the details on the program, everything that Mr. Dixon went over. We have it in a nice 6-page brochure with all the admission requirements and the prerequisites and all of that information. But the question was, what is the minimum GPA? Minimum GPA is a 2.0 overall in all subjects, general education and everything. And in the major, which is the prerequisites to gain admission to the program, that GPA would be a 2.5 in the electronics courses, which are those major lower division, we call them technical prep coursework.
Thank you, Cynthia. I have another question from Mark. I believe he must have come in a little bit later on the presentation. He's asking, can a high school student take classes of the program?
Yes, they can. We have a concurrent enrollment program, and so students definitely can pick up any courses at Bakersfield College with approval from their high school. A student would go to their counselor to get the concurrent enrollment form and to be approved to take the courses. What I also wanted to mention, first I should say, and there's more information about that concurrent enrollment program if a student goes to our Bakersfield College website and clicks on the link that says admissions and records at the top. And then it'll say students that are currently in high school, and it'll have concurrent enrollment, like step-by-step procedures for students to review and parents. The other part of that question, let me think. Oh, I know what that was. We also have our robots out at the Regional Occupation Center. So all of you students that are currently in high school can possibly, if your campus doesn't offer the electronics courses, because many of them do, like BHS, you can actually opt to take them through the Regional Occupation Center and get credit for the first 3 classes in our electronics program, which is the Electronics B1A, which is our DC course, Electronics B1B, which is our AC circuits course, and basic electronics course, and then our Electronics B3, and the name of that course is Programmable Logic Controllers, or as Mr. Dixon had mentioned, PLCs. Those courses are all available for high school students without a concurrent enrollment form to take at the Regional Occupation Center.
Thank you, Cynthia. This is to answer Juan's question, Juan Reyes. Yes, we'll be posting this live stream on our YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and watch it from the beginning, so you don't have to miss the whole presentation. We have another question from Aaron Oka. Do you recommend any free source of education that could prepare students for classes in the INDA field?
I would say make sure you have strong math skills. The electronics classes do require you to have, although there's not a math prerequisite, you do need to be good at math up to algebra. And then if you do a search for programmable logic controllers, there are a number of good resources. I can't think of any specific ones on the top of my head, but they are available.
Thank you, Jason. I have another question. I am interested in entering the field, and I'm currently unemployed. Where is a good place for me to start?
I would say you can go ahead and contact me, because I can figure out where you're at, and if you have already taken some courses, and get a plan put together for you so we can get you in school. There are courses that are still available for the fall semester, and so I can get you started with that. And even summer, we have general education available. So electronics courses will start in the fall, but we can certainly get you started in some general education courses this summer. So as quickly as beginning of June, we could have you in courses. So go ahead and contact me for more information.
Thank you, Cynthia. We have another question from Jacob Settle. He's asking, just for clarification, are ROC students from this year already admitted for the INDA program?
That's a good question. The lower division coursework, if they take something as a dual enrollment class, it already shows on their transcript for Bakersfield College. But if they've taken it through the Regional Occupation Center, they would go through our Career and Technical Education Office to make sure that that coursework is transferred and is reflected on their Bakersfield College transcript. They would need to get at least an unofficial transcript. That I might be incorrect on that one, Carlos, but they need to show a transcript to our advisors in the Career and Technical Education Office in order to get it to show on their Bakersfield College transcript. Once you have that, then that means you have the prerequisite met to move on to other classes. Let me see, did I answer that question fully?
I believe so. Thank you, Cynthia. Richard, in your area, do you see any newer companies coming into this industry in the county?
Well, I mean, last year, which our year ends in July, so last year we had our most successful year ever. And you heard, Amazon, but also Habco. It's a Israeli steel distribution high-tech company. And so we're seeing, and food processing too. So it's that mix which plays in well with industrial automation. You have the need for this type of higher level. It's not, again, as I mentioned, it's not just it's programming the conveyor belt, not putting boxes on the conveyor belt. It's software engineer jobs, right? Amazon, that facility, they have about 170 fulfillment centers, 180 around the country, but there's only 4 like the one that they're building here, 2.5 million square feet, 4 stories. I think 3 of them are automated, totally automated. So these are the jobs, these are the real jobs that, Kern County now is winning the battle. Again, we're a pretty pro-business county. A lot of these projects, some of them happen in, months versus it takes years elsewhere. So also I would encourage students to look here in terms of the support for business and education that's aligned with workforce. So we're optimistic. Obviously, with the COVID crisis, pandemic, things have slowed down a little, but we're seeing also diversification energy, all types of energy projects, biofuel. Obviously, we have petroleum, we have carbon capture, sequestration, food processing. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit. And again, we're one of the places in the West Coast that companies can grow and can flourish. There's pretty broad support. It's not a political issue for business development and growth.
Thank you, Richard. Here's another question. Do you offer night classes since I work full time?
Yes. Both for the lower division classes, we offer everything day and night. And then for the upper division classes, we offer many of those hybrid as well as fully online to make it flexible for people who are working.
Thank you. And they have another question. What's the difference between the certificate and the degree?
I can answer that question. A certificate is short-term job training. And so it can be as little as 3 classes in order to get a certificate in our program. It's kind of like just diving into the major without having to take the general education. If you're getting an associate's degree, that means you're committing to a minimum of 2 years of full-time coursework. And you certainly can do that as a part-time student as well. But there's quite a few classes that you need to complete in order to earn an associate's degree. It is the major coursework, and then it's your general education. And if it's a high school student that's asking this question, it is very similar to your A through G requirements in high school. We have the same type of coursework at Bakersfield College. And so it's a full 2-year program to get an associate's degree. Anytime you see a certificate, you're looking at diving into the major and just taking those courses. You come out with a certificate, but not the degree. And so there sometimes is more money-making potential when you have your degree. Definitely with the bachelor's program. Anytime you have a higher degree, you're looking at being able to increase your salary with that additional degree.
Thank you, Cynthia. I have a question for Lysander. Will financial aid cover my classes if I am seeking just the job skills certificate?
Yeah, so it depends on the certificate that you're taking, but in most cases, yeah, financial aid would cover it. What I do recommend is just reaching out to me or reaching out to our office at Bakersfield College Financial Aid. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Feel free to message us or email me directly, and let us know what certificate that you're interested in doing, and then we'll get a plan set up for you and help you out with the application.
Thank you, Lysander. I have another question here. I've been working in industry for a while, am I eligible to take upper division courses?
I'll go ahead and answer that one. There are still prerequisites for the coursework. And so we could chat about that and see what you've got and what you would still need. So even students that are on our campus and have taken electronics courses still need to meet the minimum prerequisite requirements to gain admission to the upper division program. And so that's something that we can review together. And that information is also on our website. So if you want to do a little bit of reading in advance and then set up an appointment so we can talk, you might have maybe additional questions after reading the material. And I would be more than happy to help you with that.
Thank you, Cynthia. Here's another question. How are the labs component being utilized right now during this COVID crisis?
A number of the classes are doing the lab work through software simulations. I think some of the classes, and these are the lower division technical classes, we're able to put together some kits of components so students could do some of the projects at home. For the upper division management related classes, those were already lecture based, so those were easy to convert to fully online. And then for the upper division technical, students I think are working more on the project management side of those particular classes and developing the plans for what they would do. And then they may end up doing makeup projects once this is over and once they can get back to campus.
Thank you, Jason. Here's another question. I hear there's a new science and engineering building being built at Bakersfield College. Is that gonna have any of the industrial automation labs?
Yes, there will be a very large automation lab on the first floor of that building.
Thank you, Jason. How long does it take to complete the industrial automation degree, BS degree?
Well, if a student is able to be a full-time student, it's a 4-year program. So from having no coursework at all, it would be 4 years if a student were taking 15 units per semester. There's also summer school, so they can accelerate their program by taking summer classes. It depends on how quick or how, if a student is working, if they need to be part-time, a student can decide how long it's going to take them to finish the program. But it can be completed in 4 years. In fact, we have students that are completing the program, upper division program, in 1.5 years because they're taking advantage of summer school and they're taking other classes. There are some lower division classes in the upper division part of the program. And if they complete all their lower division before they start the upper division program, they're able to shave off an additional semester from their upper division coursework. So we have students that are able to start in the spring, and by the very next year, they're graduating in May. So it is possible to accelerate your program in the industrial automation area coursework.
Thank you, Cynthia. Richard, you mentioned last year was very great for the county in this industry. What about this year? Is there anything new coming up?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, as I mentioned, you have over in Ridgecrest with the $4 billion of investment renovation. That is a huge opportunity. You have with the Mojave Air and Spaceport, that basically it's like a big incubator for 3,000 folks working on space tourism. And then on the west side, we have obviously downtown with the Bitwise, the growth there, but just the general excitement of downtown becoming that walkable city. And then on the periphery, right near the airport with Amazon Hadco, up down by Cajon with their industrial growth as well as wonderful company. So I think that again, most people don't realize, but in right before the COVID crisis, if you look at January, February, we were actually one of the fastest growing economies in the country. We were, if you look at mid-sized metros, I think we were the 4th fastest growing. We'd actually kind of, entered 2020 on the upswing. Now, again, oil prices took a dive shortly after that. Again, there's issues in terms of ag and the availability of water. But I think after this summer, things will definitely pick up. I think investment is discovering Kern County and finding, as well as, you have a new venture group. You have, capital that is looking for good opportunities. I mean, we had some of the lowest vacancy rates in the country for industrial space. We need new, right? We have, much like we talk about workforce, needing a larger workforce pool, we need more space for companies to grow. So I think, again, the sky's the limit, and we have great folks, right? Education, business, and government working together. And most of the time, we're all on the same page. Try to find that elsewhere around the state or in the country.
Thank you, Richard. Richard, this is for you. What is the hardest thing to sell to a company to move over to Kern County? Is it the workforce, the pool of talent, the cost of living, etc.?
Well, the cost of living is pretty easy because our cost of living is only about 6% above the national average, and our cost of doing business is pretty similar. The thing is perception, and many of you may be aware of the regional branding initiative late in last fall, early fall. Our organization, as well as county, city of Bakersfield, the chamber, private sector investors, we work together to promote the brand of Kern County. And the funny part was there was research done locally as well as outside LA and San Francisco. We were actually harder on ourselves than LA and San Francisco were on us. So when we talked about what do you think of Kern County, Bakersfield, we'd say, oh, people think it's hot air and there's pollution and so forth. Well, actually the LA and San Francisco folks had a higher, talked about Bakersfield Sound, they talked about oil and ag. So the hardest thing is that the perceptions, and mainly those are things we have, but yet when we go out, we have to be proud where we live. And I know, as we see, the minute someone comes to Kern County, Bakersfield, their opinions change, but you got to get them to come here. You can't, we have, I think, great visioning and great promotion on our website and other tools, but what really changes is they come here, they meet the leaders in education, business, government, and they realize that projects that take years elsewhere can happen here in months. So it's that perception versus reality. And we all need to start talking, using more positive and optimistic terms when we promote this region.
Thank you, Richard. I have another question. I noticed Bakersfield College has articulation agreements with other colleges in the state. Can you name a few, for example? Cynthia or Jason?
Yes, I'm trying to think of the agreements that we have. We definitely have agreements with CSUB, California State University, Bakersfield. But for industrial automation, we have everything that we need here at Bakersfield College. So there's no need for agreements with other campuses other than lower division courses. If they're talking about the lower division electronics courses specifically, that's kind of what threw me off, as I was thinking, they're going to stay on our campus. But if they're speaking about the electronics courses, those courses, we do have articulations with about 6 different campuses. We have articulations with Porterville College, Saracoso, we've got West Hills, we have by Clovis Community College, we've got Visalia, Fresno City, and San Joaquin Delta. I think those are all the campuses that we have articulation agreements with our lower division electronics courses. And again, general education, any community college in the state of California, we have articulations for that coursework.
Thank you, Cynthia. So we're gonna go ahead. We have one last question. We're gonna wrap up the Q&As. Our viewers, you have received their contact information. If you have any more further questions, feel free to reach out through them through email or through phone. Our last question to sum up this Q&As is, I noticed BC has some direct connections to the current economy. For trivia purposes, does BC have any connection to the Silicon Valley? So many startups here in Kern as well as or Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I mean, I could just say that, I mean, again, we have an amazing local talent pool. The key is just keeping them there. And we have potential for both the Bay Area and for LA businesses to grow here. And so that's the key, is promoting that to, we do have an 8-county, by the way, regional EDC that we go out and we go to the, we up around the country to try to recruit business interest to the Valley, obviously to Kern County. And we're the only group that in the state of California that goes outbound to New York, Dallas, Houston to promote the incredible wealth of talent that we already have here, as well as meet with developers and brokers in LA and the Bay Area. So the key, I think, at the end of the day is how do we commercialize our research? We have amazing talent, but we need to become an R&D center, right? Industrial automation is one way. How do we get universities, colleges to create companies? Because that's where the rubber meets the road. We want to create the great workforce, but we also want, as you see, most great regions, they have significant companies that grow locally and stay. So I think BC is really on the cutting edge of developing these relationships. But this is what we want. We see our future success, that sustainability is education being part of the commercialization and tech transfer that moves us forward.
And Carlos, I would mention that one of our articulations is with San Joaquin Delta, that community college that is in the Bay Area. And so students that are up there can begin their coursework in the Bay Area and come for the bachelor's degree and then take that back to the Bay and Silicon Valley area. So we're trying to make a smooth transition for students that are there to actually come to the Central Valley and take our courses. But students that are here in the Central Valley that want to transfer out, there's certainly job opportunities in the Silicon Valley area for individuals with a degree in industrial automation.
Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you, Richard. All right, so that sums up our Q&As. I want to say thank you to our presenters, Jason Dixon, Lysander Romers, Richard Chapman, and Cynthia Quintanilla. Thank you so much for your time. Now we're going to go move on to the next point on our agenda, and that is our virtual tour of our labs.
Wow, can you believe that it's already been 4 years? I know, I'm really going to miss those guys. They really learned a lot and became great partners. I'm really excited to see what they accomplish for human and robot kind. Yeah, but what are we going to do now? Don't forget, there's a whole new class coming next year.
Unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang it on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It only makes us stronger. I need you to hurry up, man, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, 'cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night, man. That's how long I've been on ya. I need you right now. I need you right now. Let's break law tonight. You can be my black cake moth tonight. Play secretary on the boss tonight. And you don't give a what they all say, right? Oh, the Christian and Christian Dior. Damn, they don't make them like this anymore. I ask, 'cause I'm not sure. Do anybody make real anymore? Bad when the presence of greatness. Right now, that has forsaken us. You should be honored by my lateness. That I would even show up to this place. So go ahead, go nuts, go ape. Stay in my pants, still on my face. Act like you can't tell who made this new gospel. Homie, take this, take this. Hey, that don't kill me. Can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, 'cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night, man. That's how long I've been on ya. I need you right now. I need you right now. I don't know if you get a man or not. If you made plans or not. God put me in your plans or not. I'm tipping this drink, got me saying a lot. But I know that God put you in front of me. So how the hell could you front on me? It's 1,000 views, it's only one of me. I'm tripping, I'm caught up in the moment, right? Cause you don't even calm down, night. So we gon' do everything the kind like. Heard they do anything for a Klondike. Well, I'll do anything for a blind. And she'll do anything for the limelight. And we'll do anything when the time's right. Baby, you're making it. Oh, I need you to hurry up now, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, 'cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night, man. That's how long I've been on ya. I need you right now. I need you right now. You know how long I've been on ya. Sprinkles on acid on ya. Oh, you had ice and toner. Don't act like I never told ya. Don't act like I 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 told ya. Baby, you're making it.
Target distribution center, which is automatically moving things. And Juan actually went through the class, so experience with programming. Yeah, so you're still on the Our program is in industrial automation, and the reason that we chose that were all of the local employers who are dealing with automation. They are the ones who told us these are the types of degree holding individuals that we need in our facilities.
When I found out that this robotics industrial automation program was opening up, I saw it as a great opportunity. Not only is it a very researched bachelor's degree, it's also very affordable, and I don't have to travel outside the city to go to school.
Growing up in Bakersfield, we have Cal State, and BC was always a junior college where people would go through and only pass through. So to be the first one to go through BC and then stay at BC and represent like, hey, BC is a place where you can get that kind of education. To be part of that has just been incredible.
Here I am coming back as an adult, and I'm going to be able to get my bachelor's. I'm not having to go into massive debt to do it. It's convenient. To me, a bachelor's degree is just something you have to have.
Right at the beginning, we take our students out to industry. We show them the facilities that our students tend to get employed at. That way the students get to see the managers in action and the advanced technicians doing their job, and they actually can see themselves completing the program and going to work at one of these facilities.
We've gone and seen different factory environments, all this equipment that we end up seeing along with robots. I'm able to see that we have that equipment. So when we go out, it kind of verifies that everything we're learning here has a place out there in the environment I'll be working in.
This is a bachelor's level program. All of the professors have master's degrees or higher. I was a facilities manager in the field. My background started in the Navy.
The second I got into that classroom and started to work hands-on with everything that I was doing, I knew this is the career I wanted.
The skills that I am learning, I feel like are going to be a great asset to employers when I graduate. I really enjoy being able to get to use the instruments that we're going to be using in the field. I have loved all my industrial technology teachers. What makes them really great is that they've all worked in the field, so they really have that hands-on experience, and so they pass it on to the students.
When I see students excited to what they learn, and then actually inspire me to teach better. So they not only learn hands-on skill, they also learn some kind of, how to communicate with them.
Our professors are very committed to our success and have made it possible for internship opportunities to come to us. All of our teachers got together and they went out and talked to all kinds of businesses. They brought the internships to us. As of right now, going through this degree, before I even walk across the stage, I have a job waiting for me, thanks to this degree.
This degree prepares our students to jump right into facilities that are using automation, which is just about everyone these days. And they can really hit the ground running. And we chose this degree because there was such a huge need for these types of individuals. They are screaming for degree holding individuals who can work with their maintenance and mechanic teams at their facilities. Automation is the future. If you like playing with computer systems and dealing with robotics, this is the program for you. Bakersfield College is dedicated to this program. I would recommend that anyone thinking about a career in automation or process management, control systems, to give us a look. We are very active on Twitter and Instagram. So I appreciate your time and listening and helping us get the word out about, once again, the first bachelor's program in California at Bakersfield College, Industrial Automation.
Well, thank you, everybody. That sums up the virtual tour. We had to modify this event into a virtual platform due to the whole COVID-19 we're dealing with right now. Once this stay-at-home order is lifted, we'll be able to provide tours of our labs during the summer or in the fall. So if you're interested, I'll be sending you an updated email shortly with a quick survey, and then you can let me know in that survey if you're interested, and we can totally pull that off for you, okay? Once again, thank you for joining us today. I hope this informational was great and it was useful for you, and we hope to see you in our classroom soon. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone. Take care.